all the tests the previous day with the technicians of Pixel, and I would like to thank especially Roberta and Andrea for this help and for the organization of this virtual event. As Lorenzo told us, let's check one more time. The first presenter will present with the video presentation, and Roberta will put shortly this video. We know that it's for 15 minutes each speech, and we can put in the chat a question. Of course, for this virtual presentation, it's not possible to have the answers immediately, so I propose to put the questions in the network, in the lobby room, in the networking area, where the first presenter, which is Chris Brignell, will be there to answer in a synchronous way your questions. So I will present him, and Roberta will put the video. Chris Brignell is the Director of Natural Science and an Associate Professor of Statistics at the University of Nottingham in the UK. He won a Lord Daring Award for his teaching in 2019, and he's interested in strategies such as active learning and authentic assessment for improvement student attainment, engagement, and employability. He's a member of the UK's Society for Natural Science Committee for Pedagogy, Research in Interdisciplinary Science Education. Today he's the first speaker, a synoptic approach to science education. That's the title of his speech. I propose to listen to Chris, and Roberta, please put the video of his presentation. Questions can be left in the chat, but I propose to put them also. It's better in the network room, because she is not here to answer. Thank you.
Hello. Sorry, I have to ask to my colleague Andrea if you are able to put your PDF of Chris Brignell, because my laptop has currently a few problems.
You are now unmuted.
Roberta, can you make me moderator and presenter, please? And I will take care of that.
Right now.
You are now muted.
Hello, my name is Chris Brignell. I'm the Director of Natural Sciences at the University of Nottingham. 3 out of a possible 9 different scientific subjects to study. It's a program aimed at high achieving students, so we ask for A-star AA in terms of their end of high school A-level qualifications. So these are very good students studying a wide range of scientific disciplines, unlike most students in the UK who are focusing on maybe 1 or maybe 2 subjects. And what is the synoptic module? Well, it's a final year compulsory module for natural science students. And the aim of the module is to address a number of the program's aims around interdisciplinarity, research, employability, and sustainability. So let's think about how this module fits in with the natural sciences program and how the student's journey evolves through their years. So in the initial years of the program, the teaching is very much focused on the teacher-led side. So they're learning in silos, so they're learning about different scientific disciplines and different modules. and they're very much consuming the knowledge that the teacher is giving them. The focus is on the models and theory. What we want them to get to is being the complete scientists, so being capable of doing independent scientific research, for example, whether it's in industry or academia.
Hello, Chris. You just logged in. Would you like to take the floor and go on with the presentation?
Yeah, and my apologies. Am I later? I'm very sorry.
Yes, the speech was starting at 9:30, but I can give you the floor now. So, do you have your presentation or?
Yeah, I can upload it. Yeah.
Okay. Or I can take care of uploading it for you. Just a second, and I will give you the floor.
Thank you. Hello.
Roberta, you are the moderator. You need to give Chris the right of presenter.
Hi, Chris. This is Michael Kalianakis, the moderator also of this session. I would like to ask you if you can take this presentation from the five diapositive, because we are just put the video presentation, so that will facilitate us for the program. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So
from here.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's okay. Perfect.
Yeah. First of all, my humble apologies for my tardiness in joining the session this morning. So we're the premise of the module is that we're trying to teach students how to be interdisciplinary scientists, and students take part in a range of projects. Some are looking at kind of more medical applications, like the one on the left here. Some are looking at kind of energy and how we can use that for sustainability, and others are considering more kind of environmental projects. So the description for the module that hopefully you were watching previously is how the module was running several years ago. And when I took over the module in 2019, the feedback was fairly negative. There was lots of negative comments around how much work was involved, about working in groups and whether that was fair, and how the topics were slightly irrelevant, perhaps to modern science, and they weren't sure exactly what was being asked of them. So there were some good comments. Some noted that they were gaining some skills that they hadn't gained in other modules. So, so some of the things that I've learned over the couple of years that I've been running the module, one is to do with what makes a good project. So how do we find projects which are suitable? I work at a research intensive university, so it's easy to find good examples of interdisciplinary research around me. The challenge is trying to find staff members who are willing to volunteer to be experts for these projects. We brand them as experts so that we can, the point is that they are there to lend their scientific expertise rather than cope with the day-to-day supervision of the project. And I say to them, what can the students do to help you with your research? Maybe it's to broaden horizons or think interdisciplinary about your research field. Some of the projects, how broad or narrow should they be? So some of the projects, at the beginning of the projects, we set them off on quite a broad theme, and then as they go through, they can narrow down into an area of research that they feel is suitable. We've connected each of the projects to one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals as a way of framing it in terms of improving the planet, and that seems to help students with their motivation. And the other thing is, well, what should the output of the project be? So should it be we're asking them to do research, but they don't necessarily have the time or the facilities to be able to do research. So although we could ask them to write a journal article about their research, so we also give them the opportunity to give other outputs, such as a grant proposal, where they can say what they would do if they had time and money, or maybe they're going to write a policy document where they evaluate different options for solving a problem. So other issues arise around the group work and how to assign individuals to groups. We've moved to a model where we let the students choose their project preferences and then create the groups around a project that they are interested in. Lots of us are scientists, but we maybe feel happy teaching science, but maybe we feel less happy teaching kind of softer skills, but nevertheless essential skills, things like communication and teamwork. So we run a series of workshops through the year, but we make use of central expertise within the university. So our library staff run workshops that we can call upon to help with things like thinking critically about literature, writing and referencing, and so on. And how do we facilitate collaboration between the students? Well, we use Microsoft Teams. We were using this pre-pandemic. Since the pandemic struck, the whole university's moved on to using Teams, but we were using it before the pandemic struck, and students seem to get on well with it. Although I guess maybe during the pandemic, the novelty of it is worn off. How do we make the marking fair and transparent? So I based the module around the assessment around the World Economic Forum. They've created a list of skills that the future workforce will need. And so each of the assessments is mapped to the WF skills, so they can see clearly which skills are being assessed by which assessment. And we're very much assessing the skills as well as the scientific knowledge. And then how do we assign the marks to individual students? So some students were thinking it was unfair if all the students in a group got the same mark. So what we do is we ask the groups to maintain a log of their activities through the year. And then at the end, each individual writes a reflective piece about how they found the experience and what they think were the key features in trying to be successful in the project. And we can use the group log and the reflective assessment to understand which individuals were contributing to the final output. Just to kind of clarify that the feedback from the revisions to the module were very positive. So the marking criteria were rated very clear by the students. They really like using Microsoft Teams for collaboration. The project themes, some appreciated the relevance to the sustainability and sustainable development. Thinking about sustainable development in terms of economic and social development, as well as environmental sustainability. Others thought the project's topics were a bit too vague and they wanted a bit more direction. And so just to conclude where we're going next, or where we might go next, we are thinking about a model that's been tried at other universities, like Strathclyde in the UK, where they've been doing vertically integrated projects to help students work across year groups to help solve some of these problems, which helps with the kind of perpetual research nature. And I shall pause there. So if anyone's got any questions.
Okay. Thank you, Chris, for this presentation. So I will ask the audience if they have questions for this presentation of Chris Brignell. You can turn on your camera and ask him directly, or you can put in the chat the question for this presentation. So just to wait 1 or 2 minutes. I also put in the chat the special room that Pixel has created for this asynchronous collaboration with the presenter, with Chris. So there you can also put your questions. So if there are a question, please proceed. or I can ask you something. I found it very interesting, your presentation, and especially the use of Microsoft Teams before the pandemic. It's something actually very interesting. I would like to ask you if you have international students, not only students based in the UK, and how that issue that you are faced in the UK with the European Committee, and how this influence your students and your research about science education and this approach, because I know that also I know many Greek people that are studying in UK. So can you please tell us about this?
Yeah, well, yeah. Firstly, I should I feel like I should apologise for the UK leaving the EU. It's not obviously, it was a very contentious issue throughout the country, and people are split down the middle, I think, on this one. In terms of the impact on the university, I think, you know, there's a debate at the moment about whether the UK can remain to have access to the Horizons research funding. I think that was a scheme where the UK got more out of it than we put in, but for some reason the government seems to be hesitant about providing the funding to carry on with that, which is disappointing. In terms of the teaching, I think obviously it becomes perhaps less attractive for EU students to come to the UK, which is a disappointment. I have many colleagues from the EU, Germany and Greece in particular, and you know, they're very much a valued part of our community. Our particular university has strong links with China and Asia, so I suspect that source of international students will remain unaffected. But there's also obviously the impact on the UK's withdrawal from the Erasmus scheme. So we obviously have students who want to do placements in Europe as part of their course, and it's at this point unclear what the new funding situation will be for them, which is yeah. So it's I guess we need to wait and see a year or two and see how it settles down. But it's a disruption at a time of a pandemic that we could have done without.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. We have to wait, of course. So I don't see other questions, other question in the chat or by microphone. So thank you for this presentation and good chance for your project, Chris. And maybe in the private room, in the room with the networking and in the asynchronous questions answers with all the presenters. You will have more questions about this presentation that is available. So thank you.